Hello, this is Kyle Gomez with Andrea Diem's Intro to Philosophy class, aka
So what I told
Filth.
her
I'm in the
was
middle
that
of a video. Yo. Alright, let's try this again. This is Kyle Gomez with Intro to Philosophy Research Assignment 1 for the first half of the semester. My research assignment was on a lecture that I attended at Pomona College by Miss Marina Oshana, who did a lecture on the social relational conception of autonomy in Pearson's Hall, Room 101. I attended this lecture with Bruno Calatrani in our class, and it was very interesting to see her stance on autonomy. So, let's dive right into it. Professor Oshana graduated from the University of California at Davis in 1993, and she specialized in ethics and moral psychology. So her credentials are highly unmatched compared to me, who is studying undergrad at Mount San Antonio College right now, 19 years old. So it's going to be hard to critique her when, one, I am not near specialized in her area as she is, and two, I really don't know what I'm talking about. So this is kind of going to be my analysis of her lecture that she gave and what I think about it um, in my own terms, my own understanding, without all her technical jargon that she displayed during her lectures. So the first thing I want to address is that her lecture was very boring. Me and Bruno were in there for about an hour attempting to take notes, but our pens couldn't keep up with how fast she was reading, and our minds couldn't keep up with what she was actually saying. So, I mean, we ended up just not taking any notes and just trying to listen to her to understand what she was actually saying to us, which was a task in and of itself. So, what she did is she read a paper that she wrote, um, just looking down at the paper the entire time, reading it to us. No interaction, no enthusiasm, no nothing. It was honestly, it was horrible. I felt like I was just listening to a lecture on the computer, and we all know how difficult that is. Except I couldn't go back and listen to what she was saying again and again, or rewind anything. So it was really tough. Um, the entire lecture was filled with unnecessary technical jargon that only philosophy professors or people that really specialize in that would even understand. Um, Bruno, who has his undergraduate bachelor's degree from UCLA in philosophy, was even having a hard time keeping up with it. So as you can imagine, what everyone else was feeling like, yeah, it was pretty tough. Now, I'm not saying that her lecture was entirely something that you couldn't comprehend because towards the last 15 minutes of her lecture, I actually was understanding what she was really getting at with her whole thing. Because I don't know, the first 40 minutes was all basically other people's uh, critiques or opinions on something that she wrote about the social relational conception of autonomy. And one, I mean, no, everyone in the lecture, I'm assuming that everyone in the lecture hasn't even read what she wrote about it. And then she was throwing out all these other people's opinions about it when we don't even know what it's about. So it was really unnecessary for her to even say everything that she was saying, to read that whole part of her lecture, because none of us had any clue what she was talking about. Um, I would prefer if she would have started off, you know, explaining first what autonomy was, because I mean I know what it is, but I want her opinion on it, not her technical reasoning followed by other people's technical analysis and critiques and her countering those opinions. And it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. I was sitting there for the first, you know, 30 to 40 minutes going, huh? What? Hey man, did you understand that? What's she talking about? I don't know what she's talking about. So that's pretty much how it went down the first 35 to 40 minutes. Um, Gosh, just thinking about it, I was just, I, the sad part is I was really trying to listen to her. I wasn't just ignoring her. I was really trying. Um, but yeah, whatever. So the last 15 minutes is when she really describes her view on autonomy and where she stands with it. And to be honest, it was very arrogant and cocky of her for her to talk the way that she was talking, and I'll explain that in a minute. Um, but firstly, autonomy is, best defined as governing oneself. Um, you know, having the assets and the more like the mind power to be an independent or separate from the masses or to govern to just be who you are, freedom, govern who you are without anyone interfering. Um, and which is I actually I didn't know that going into the lecture. I had to research it afterwards to figure it out because she didn't tell me what it was. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's actually a really cool topic to discuss, and her entire, basically her whole view on it is that the only way to be autonomous is to be wealthy, is to be a member of a minority group, um, women, African American, Latino, Asian, um, and to have an education, to be educated. Those were the main points that she was making with it. And to give examples of that, she described herself. She said very, cocky, that she is autonomous. One, because she's a feminist. She's a hardcore feminist. She's very, very well educated. She's a professor. She got her PhD from UC Davis. She has a little bit of money that makes her autonomous and self-governing and different from everyone else because she has all those things. And that was the main purpose of where she was getting at, believe it or not. And for me, I was listening to that and I was in shock. I was like, how can you describe, how can you make a generalization about autonomy to specific people like that and include yourself in that area without, with ignoring a complete other side to that? I was thinking, why can't there be homeless, white, um, poor people that are not self-governing? How are they not self-governing? How do they not have the capacity and control to govern their own self? I was just thinking, I'm just like, how arrogant is it of you to claim such a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand it. It's such a conservative view on on this subject, and that's mainly what I took out of it. You know what I mean? All the other stuff that she was describing, talking about, all the technical words, all the unnecessary crap that she was saying in the beginning, really boiled down to that part. And I really wish I had the paper that she was writing. I looked for hours trying to find it. I could not find it anywhere. The paper that she wrote. Um, I really wanted to say word for word the things that she was saying, so I can counter it that way. I recorded some of it, but my camera ran out in the beginning, so I recorded all the stuff that I didn't even need to record. Um, Bruno has a recording of it, and I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff from him. But I mean, ultimately, that's what it boils down to. And I attended a whole lecture for her to describe in 10 minutes what um, what it means to be autonomous in that sense. And it was very eye-opening to see a professor with those type of credentials to claim such a thing. Um, to not interact with all 12 of us that was in the lecture, attending the lecture, not interact with any of us, read from a paper, and as soon as the paper ended, she was done. She said, "Thank you, have a good day." And then we could have came back for questions, but we didn't because it was just horrible. So yeah, that is my pretty much my analysis of it. I thought it was really horrible, and hopefully the next one I attend will be a little bit better.